Stanisław Barszczak, What I Don't Believe in. Dear listeners and viewers, how long will people stay important? Here's a great moment of philosophy. Man is a good thing. At the center of my thinking is man and the question of what capitalism is doing to us. Today's world of work and progressive urbanization. I am not a famous sociologist. I actually wanted to be a musician, gardener, or sport commentator. But then my spirit was operated on and I became a priest. I wrote research papers on church history and philosophy. As a globetrotter living in Częstochowa city, I visit Poles all over the world. I would like to show you how precarious working conditions affect the character of people. I am asking what good work is and how can we strengthen social cohesion. I analyze what cities must look like in order to make social confusion and a good life possible. An open city, the ethic of building and living, I present to the reader of my essays. I encourage you to cooperate that binds our society together. I am talking about to a flexible person. I reveal the culture of the new capitalism because I cultivate an in-depth and critical exchange of ideas. I was going to get to the bottom of the pressing questions of our time. I often draw a broad arc from the social political topicality to the fundamental questions of philosophy. Who is responsible for what? What is a human freedom? What determines the meaning of our life? These issues are thought-provoking and reflect and classify our current affairs. As I said, man is a good thing, I ponder. There is no medicine for everyone. In the technical age, I would go with my thesis to the technical school at that time because it is difficult to understand that strangers are not copies of us. We still take this premise as silly. I would not like to be isolated in the long run, I will say here, and unfortunately it is so. As such, in the education system, we do not deal with the problems that are discussed in this letter. We do not create classes for Ukrainians. Children are educated together, Polish ones and other nationalities, because you have been the mainstay of tolerance in Poland for centuries. What to do to overcome these difficulties? But we are living in the happiest time of the beginning of the third millennium of Roman Christianity. And this is an unearthly and fruitful election of Viktor Orban for a new term in Hungary. It's worth taking strangers. Where's the other thinking? Although I personally use the hostile system of the word sometimes, I announce to all and sundry an open state, a city with closeness and distance. We have new spaces to shape, if not even invent, for the man of tomorrow, the last reserve of God's presence in history. We are to take care of building new social structures, because the social structuring of human civilization continues. We are even going to reveal a kind of social crystallization of the globe in the course of human migration. And we are accompanied by climate change, and this must be taken into account. Emmanuel Levinas had a way he took a long time to reflect on the man. With Martin Buber, they showed up in the same ties. They were the great thinkers of mankind. How to take on other people fruitfully and successfully when we don't identify with them is Levinas' problem. How to live with another and add in German Nachbarn. When it is impossible to erase his difference, when you do not identify with him, that's his fault. We are talking here about an exercise to improve the condition of human relations with one's neighbor. There is racism in Poland since we are based on the opinion and not on the Levinasian relationship with our neighbors. Emanuel Levinas had a long argument with Buber, even a quarrel. For Levinas, man has his own terminology, conceptuality, conception intelligibility, the possibility of conceptual representation. In German, Begrifflichkeit. Levinas does not totalize the world. He lives in Paris. As I said, he had a difficult time, a long reflection during the war, Second World War. We don't know each other, Levinas' attitude towards the other one. Go early to dinner. Martin Buber left for Israel, his homeland, and lived unter den Seinen, in German, below his abilities, I believe, dependent on her country in a way. Although he lived in the aura of a global village, he was at work. In the book Me and You, German Ich und Du, he speaks of independence. I would not like to be practical here. I will tell you, I summoned Jewish wisdom and the neighbor society. I am talking about, on the other hand, the digitization of the world is progressing. We are sometimes replaced by machine, but you have to create a neighbor society, as I said. I am talking about it in the context of the war between Russia and Ukraine. On April 2nd, 2022, on the 17th anniversary of the death of the Polish Pope John Paul II, I watched a program on television recalling the 25th anniversary of the new constitution in Poland, Republic of Poland. I don't know if new wording is needed for us, for her, but for us, yes. We need a voice, civic voice, over and over again on the fundamental attitude towards Polish tolerance. Whether to take a Martin Buber thinking or go with Emanuel Levinas to the end. A year ago, the oligarch killed the president of Haiti. I believe in, and today they are threatening to seize power even in Russia. Ukraine is not giving up. It is fighting the invader. On the other hand, racism is a fact. I believe, and today they are threatening. Today you have to fight for the truth. Reassess the phenomena of life. I'll be honest in the end. A referendum on the essential, namely the man of tomorrow in my homeland, would be very fruitful. It is about putting the question clearly, finally, do we only continue our dependence on the context of history, or do we depend on building ourselves for the benefit of new generations of Poles and prosperity of a new society of tomorrow? Here I expect people to be admitted and a few voice in the general discussion forum, I believe. The generosity of the Argentine people, Pope's era, the administration of President Biden, the neighbor living in a neighborhood who, thanks to the internet and his own ambition, is also the hatred indeed, your own relationship to my neighbors on the block or streets. Right now, in this country, to choose a future whose name is the Poland motherland could not resist. I think too real. But taking over this hopelessness of the modern world, I would like to wisely look at the infinite perspective of human values, to form the happiest future for the Poland of my homeland, thus opening my eyes to the only hope for the men of tomorrow, which is the truth. Here I even include what I do not believe in. I would like to thank you for listening to this letter and for your own comments.